Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I had to take a little break there. We're going to restart. I'm very tired. It's the same day as me casting for the first time. We're just reviewing TSM vs Cloud9 as the LCS is still going. I'm not allowed to co-stream, but I think this doesn't count. So let's hope I don't get banned. Don't report me to the Polizei. Let's start with the draft. TSM with fairly standard bans against Cloud9. Pantheon gone, Tahm gone. Tahm Varos would be the option that C9 would probably go for if it was open here. They play a very strong Tahm, they can use it, and it is one of those champions that if the enemy team can use it and you don't get good practice against it in scrims, it can be something that you can remove, right? You can definitely remove it. Senna forces the Aphelios ban. Cloud9 removing Bjergsen, Syndra, Ornn, Aphelios, because Aphelios would be the first pick. But honestly, I think it's fine to give Aphelios for GP and Gragas. So it's kind of silly. So we continue. The bans we're fine with, the first 3 bans we're fine with. This as well. Only Aphelios I don't like. Because I think you can counter Aphelios. You can put Aphelios in a bad spot. And TSM as a bot lane have the most success with Xayah 5-0 on Xayah. Very strong Xayah. So I feel like Cloud9 had no plan towards this. They gave us Xayah. Set first pick, I don't mind too much, honestly. People were concerned about it, but it turns out Set is really OP. In lane, he has very little weaknesses, has too much resistances, and too much health regen to care, especially on 10.4 right before his 10.5 nerf. So, with that being said, Set is a fine first pick, honestly, fine. Here I don't like it too much, Misfortune, I think as we've seen more and more games, it just seems to me as if Ezreal is the core pick here. I feel I've seen many games where Misfortune struggles into a pick like Set, but Misfortune gives you strong lane prio. But here, when enemy showed Set already, you can force a game where you play heavily into top, and you figure out a way to counter him, because now Set is shown, and you're going to be able to put yourself in a position where you can counter Set. Set's still good blind, it's difficult to hard counter him, but soft counter him, put yourself in a matchup that's better, right? So, this is the question mark. This is also the question mark. Like, if you're gonna pick jungle first 3, I think Gragas Gragas Karthus is more premium than Lee Sin right now. I still think they are great, But blah Lee Sin. Now, if you pick Lee Sin, it means you have to have AP top. If you pick Lee Sin, AP mid, AP top, that's the only reason you ever pick Lee. Next thing, Xayah rotation with the Leona lock-in. So here, obviously, when you leave top lane for second wave ban, there was option of going Machine Gun Kelly, Mordekaiser, maybe even Singed. But if you let the enemy pick top first 3 and they ban 2, the options are going to be slimmer. Because these are the 3 top laners we see every game, right? We see Aatrox, we see Set, we see GP. And then Ornn is banned every game. So these are the most common top laners, right? And when you leave top lane for second wave, it starts to get banned out and it tends to get more difficult to pick top lane. But in this case, I didn't understand why you want to look to pick Shen. It doesn't synergize too well with C9's composition. Sure, Leona can go in, Lee Sin can go in, but usually you want something that synergizes even better with Shen. That can, force the engages easier. Leona and Lee Sin still rely on landing a Q, landing on E before you commit. there are easy ways to implement a Shen into a comp, right? Echo is guaranteed, LeBlanc is guaranteed, Nocturne is guaranteed, Castellan is guaranteed. They have the gap closes that are guaranteed, so it's way easier to choose the timings when you force. Zoe in the mid lane cannot use Shen at all, so I just don't understand the Shen pick. Shen is not good until set. It just isn't. You have some moments where you can maybe trade, but set is always going to be more useful than you. So it's quite confusing. Because when I look at the first three choices here, TSM are in a great position. TSM, the only weakness of this is they get to pick jungle second wave, but even here they could go Karthus. Here they could pick Karthus, and it would be an even dirtier composition, in my opinion. They pick Jarvan because of the Misfortune interaction, of course. They want to just pick Jarvan into Misfortune, but I think it's pretty troll to pick Jarvan into Lee Sin, because Lee Sin wins against Jarvan 1v1 at any stage in the game. He has more attack speed, he just wins 1v1, has better kit, is more mobile, can dodge very easily the combo. Lee Sin wins 1v1 against Jarvan. Period. And then, you know, you see Set already. You see Set, and then you're last picking Shen. That's your last pick. Shen last pick. Your fourth picking Zoe, blind pick. Syndra's out. LeBlanc is in the game. Your fourth picking Zoe when enemy is showing Set already. I don't think you need to be worried about Set going into mid lane when you're last picking the freaking... Like when you're last picking mid, you're not gonna just send Set blind into mid. It's just very low likelihood. Thank you. This is why they pick Shen. That's hilarious. Very troll. I think very troll pick Shen. You also just give them a very free Zilean. That's not free, right? Zoe's going to win this matchup, but here TSM just have a nice, good scaling composition. Their first three scale better than the enemy first three. Zilean on top of that, you know, Zilean's just an alright pick. You know, Zilean scales well, and that's it. Maybe they're thinking about set jungle, just any things. Maybe, but I don't know. Zoe blind is not bad, right? It's not like they're losing the game because of Zoe blind. I just think they're losing the game because of Shen. This to me is big question mark. This to me is a bit of a question mark. And then honestly, the only change I would do is maybe picking Karthus here, but Jarvan is still into Zoe, into MF. It's okay, right? It's okay. Zilean will always have a good ult target. Jarvan will drop down or whatever. You can revive him when he dies and you can stay in the fight. So Jarvan is okay. Jarvan is okay. Jarvan is okay. Don't have an issue with the Jarvan. So now just this. This is the problem. What is Shen realistically going to do in this game? What was the idea here? I don't think Shen has a good matchup in the set. Yada yada yada. Let's get into the game. This game, C9 need to make sure that they force hard on bottom. They need to just burn summoners. Lee Sin needs to find action on bottom side of the map. Bifrost is doing some shenanigans to jump over the wall. Bifrost dodging. Oh, I didn't see this when I watched this live. Didn't see this when I watched this live. Zilean in the mid lane just wants to survive. This is a winning matchup for Zoe. Jarvan, if he finds some early game pressure, where he maybe burns a flash from Niski or something like this, is cool. It's definitely cool. Jarvan will not have an easy time jungling in this game, but if he finds any type of pressure bottom, it's cool. Not sure about what YamatoCannon did here. They were leashing and then they were not leashing. They were very late to lane, and MF and Leona get to contest from the get-go. You know, when you play Leona and the enemy lane is not there and you're not leashing, you're very happy because you get to get the prio on the first wave. If you have prio on Leona on the first wave, all of a sudden that weakness of how bad and shit your level 1 is instantly gone. So the fact that TSM is very late into this bottom wave is impactful. It's painful for them. This is very troll from Bifrost. Smoking good kush there, Bifrost. Niski with prio, naturally, but Niski missed 5 creeps. It's a reportable offense, I think. Missing 5 creeps on first wave. Bjergsen has an advantage. Ooh, difficult to last it on the turret with Zillion. Darda going for 3 clear. A bit faster than Blabber, just a little bit. Blabber walking into both side river. Leona and Misfortune are controlling the wave as they want bottom. Good casting today, thank you very much, you work one, I appreciate it. And yes, I remember you, Lol Vulatsky. Blabber stepping in here with the mid priors, I can posture better. I'm good, thank you. Oh, actually, just put it here. That's very cute of you, Angel. Thank you. I love you very much, Anna. Thank you. Okay, let's go back. Sorry, guys. So here you can see a very common interaction. So here, straight up 1v1, right? Javan EQ's in, needs to walk away because Niski's coming, right? But still, if Blabber is punching and hitting, Darga's gonna lose this. He loses this. He always loses. Lee Sin wins always. Holy, this apple tastes pretty bad. The punching and hitting is too strong for the stickman. That's true. I missed Yamato's review of G2 Fnatic. What was the resume? You can just check the VODs. Thank you so much for subscribing, Elskar0 and Ezio Dome. Welcome to the squad. Make some mother flipping noise. Look at those win ratios. Zaya, Rakan, and Zillion. Darda in position. Very nice of Darda to be here, but Blabber is building an advantage. Blabber still didn't base, so the advantage is not big at all. Blabber did in fact steal the Raptors and pushed Jarvan out of the game. I think the Fnatic Baron, I reviewed it and I think they just didn't think about the plant, I mean. So Zillion being even here, I think it comes down to Niski missing a lot of CS because this is not normal to be this low CS at 5 minutes. He missed plenty of CS. Licorice is not enjoying his top matchup. Why would he? The matchup sucks. Shen pick is just Giga Troll. Honestly. Very little synergy with the composition and you're hoping that the enemy plays bad here. It's very rough. So how can C9 use Shen? They can use it to fight on bot. But the issue is that still, when Broken Blade doesn't have prio and is not spotting Shen, and Shen is walking away from the turret and losing turret platings, then easily, TSM's bot lane can walk away just as much. C9's hard commit is too predictable. Them committing into a fight is just too easy. TSM freezing the wave nicely here. I like this move. Now they can begin to build the wave and get that BF sword base and then use that prio to start the dragon. C9 can also use this opportunity to start the Drake. It wouldn't be too bad of a move, honestly, if Blabber just started Drake right here. Leona and Misfortune are in a good position. And Drake start. Cool. I know the result of this game, but I don't know the details of the game. I just saw the Shen pick, and in general, I feel like that's the biggest issue. Like, how can you win with Shen this game, honestly? Dardock wasting a lot of time this game, honestly. XP wise, he's a bit in trouble. Blabber's gonna reach 6 after one more camp and maybe some mid creeps. It was weird. Tenbatsu Gaming, I get your point, but what does Jarvan do in all of this, right? Jarvan also has some options here. That's the key thing. I do agree though that C9 can fight for mid prio, because that's where they're stronger. Elisen and Zoe should be able to push Bjergsen out and then dive bottom. But that has nothing to do with Shen, right? That's just them 4v2ing naturally. Imagine if they had a top laner that was better than Shen. They would be able to accomplish the same thing. I don't have an issue at all with the Zoe and Lee. Don't have an issue at all with MF Leona into Zahrakan. It does put you in a position where you need to force things in comparison to TSM's composition, but the issue for me lies in the fact that Shen is not necessary for them to... It's not necessary for Shen to be existing in order for them to execute the same play. Niski and Blabber can easily secure mid prio 2v2, pressure into both side jungle, and then they can pressure the Shen out, and then they can look to dive 4v2 bottom after pressuring Jarvan out, just the same way, while having a more useful champion on top side. Because even now, Shen got ganked, and then the freeze happened, Dardock burning a lot of his time, reaching level 6 now, which is cool, but set now 20 CS advantage. I just imagine a world where the pick was better, and they don't have something that just falls off and bleeds on the floor and just ruins the carpet that is the 12-0 that Cloud9 built over this long time. But it's quite incredible that Bjergsen actually manages to be even in this matchup. It shouldn't be the case, honestly. Blabber and Niski need to find more opportunities to pressure here. They need to build pink ward vision. They need to make sure that the river was controlled and then use that to pressure into bottom. What would you have suggested for last week instead of Shen? I probably missed you saying it when you did the draft phase. Well, the issue is that they locked in Lee Sin. Just because they locked in Lee Sin, they have less options of what they can pick for top. When you lock in Lee, you need to have AP top. And if you look at AP top options, maybe there's Singed, Mordekaiser. Those could be fine picks. But the issue is if they lock in Lee Sin instead of Gragas. Like if they lock in Gragas and they third pick GP, it's juicy, right? It's juicy. We like it. They can third pick Aatrox. Even though they're not going to win into Set, because Set is such a strong blind pick here. Rumble, I think, is not so great into Set, but can be okay. I just think the health region is too OP in this matchup for Set. You would rather have something that can, like, all in, you know? In a good way, instead of something that is more poke based, like a Rumble. But it comes down to the Lee Sin pick. The reason we see so many AP junglers being played is because the AP top laners are not that amazing right now. TSM with the standard swap for Rift Herald, but Rift Herald is already taken by Dardock. Very nice moves. Very, very good. Lakers shouldn't be dying here. Tempo in the favor of TSM. They manage the wave better. They get the Rift Herald as well, from Set being in a better position. Here they overcommit a bit too far. Here, this is really odd, because right now TSM won the game. The game is kind of lost for C9. I'm not a fan of Vladimir into set. The thing is, the issue with Vladimir is you lose against set at all points, and Vladimir's damage is quite predictable. So the shield from W can easily be used for set to deny any all-in. So that's the issue. It's just that set lane phase wise is one of the best laners in the game. Janna, yeah. Janna over Shen. Yeah. Do you think Jace would be a good pick? Jace could be fine, but I still think Set has options. The health regen is just too OP on this patch. Health regen is too good. What about Rise? Very bad. Not good. I mentioned the best options, guys. I don't think there is better. Could probably pick Nautilus over Shen. I would have the same issue, honestly. Ornn is the best pick, but yeah, Ornn is always banned. So here, I wanted to mention, TSM won the game here. They killed the Shen, got the first blood, and they can start hitting here. But Bifrost is getting a bit too greedy because they want to cut off Sven and look for the dive here. Because they see only Sven. TSM are in a perfect position here, but they walk in too far. Zoe is already here, and Zilean is not a part of this play. Honestly, Set is not a part of this play either, because he's just basing. Set, usually most reactions here for Set should be like, okay, my team is fighting, I'm gonna stop the base. But he's just chilling and recalling, so it looked pretty hilarious. And Sinan get 2 kills. Sinan get 2 kills that they shouldn't have taken at all. Zilean was basing, Zoe was rotating, and all was fine. All was fine. They already had an advantage. Rifter would take 2 platings, and TSM would be around 2,000 gold ahead. Instead, we have a situation, not 2,000, but maybe more or less, you know. So boom, flash, and then boom. Very nice either that shoves Shen into the creeps to get the stun, and then the RKO. And then here, Bifrost dying, Set just chilling. Look at that. Set is just, screw you guys. You guys entered, you get punished for it. Enjoy. Then Lee Sin flash Q to follow. Niski also flashing. Isn't Singed the best pick into Set? It's decent, yeah. It was one of my suggestions. Singed or Mordekaiser. So this was neat. It's just another situation where Licorice is not where he's supposed to be. Because I don't know how to judge this, because we are coming out of a replay and now we're here. So I don't know how to judge this. Zac loses most lanes. Zac you pick for scaling. Licorice, yeah, he's trying, I guess. Oh wow, Niski picked up a TP. Where did Set TP? Oh wow. Niski picked up a TP. Niski picked up a TP. So the silly thing about this situation is that, you know, during all of this, Licorice, I think, could have walked through them. Here, if he wants to, he can get through them. Licorice can just pass. He has Chain Vest, there's a Cinderhulk Jarvan, doesn't do too much damage. He just walks away. So TP, you can't get it from a creep any longer. So it's not lucky Master Namer. It's just the fact that Set TP'd into this and he was TPing on bottom turret. So if Set walks away a bit further and thinks about the fact that Zoe can TP, then it's better. But yeah, Vulcan gets caught. I don't understand how we achieved this lane assignment, because it's quite silly. I think in such a position you want to look to dive bottom. Instead, we have Leona trying to hide on bush. He's trying to hide on bush here, right? He's hiding on bush. He's trying to defend the dive, maybe in a 2v4 situation. Maybe they get surprised by Leona. That's the thought process here. The standard macro play would be to play away from your own Shen, because you want your Shen to be as far away from the player as possible, and then ult in and so forth. And ideally what C9 do here is that they play for mid, pressure the Zillion off, and then they look to pressure the bottom turret. Here Zoe picks up a TP, but Lee Sin is on the wrong side of the map. Misfortune's coming in, and this extended dive with the TP of Zoe, all of a sudden, C9 actually can get a turnaround. Bjergsen TPs. He had the TP, of course, hidden behind that cleanse. He went for the double bombs, misses. Vulcan stopwatch. C9 are still playing the fights good, right? They are managing to find some things, but in the end, it was based off of TSM's technical mistakes. The TP on bottom, Niski finds a bubble eventually, and then a very, very clean Q here. Obviously, it should have been blocked by Bergersen. But the bubble was neat in the first place, and C9, even in such a rough game, are showing that some of these fights, mechanically, they are playing better. Finding that TP was so clutch though for Niski. If it wasn't for this TP, then TSM would have a clean and free dive. So C9, even though they're fighting blow for blow here, it's very important based off the fact that, C9 are getting these opportunities because of TSM. What the fuck did I say? This ambulance just distracted me so hard. This ambulance distracted me. I don't even remember what I was saying. Nevertheless, we move on. We move on. I think I was trying to say that TSM are giving them the opportunities, not anything else. Monkas. My point was C9 are trading blow for blow, but the only reason C9 can blow back is because of TSM's mistakes. TSM were playing better and were giving the better opportunities, but then they screwed up execution. That's huge, man. This is the game changer right here, because look at Misfortune's position. Why is C9 fighting here? Misfortune doesn't want to be a part of this. C9 usually, if you're in such a position, they need to be contesting mid wave, because Zaya Rakan showed on bottom wave. Misfortune is cut off from the team completely, and I think the move is for Misfortune to move and to contest this mid wave together, as Zaya Rakan already showed on bottom. You're not going to be able to contest bottom wave at all here as an MF, and C9 are just fighting 4v3 straight up. Shen does have TP, but as we mentioned before, C9 has TP, but as we mentioned before, Set can easily push in and no problem. TSM, go for the fight. Misfortune is out of position. They know it. They go for it. Double bomb. No stopwatch this time. Volkanovic is Dedovic. The Bifrost plays it well. Bifrost dies. Never mind, doesn't play it well. Niski no flash because he flashed to kill the Lee Sin in the Rift Herald pit, as we saw before. And TSM get a freaking triple kill. We mentioned before their composition is going to scale better. Shen is pretty useless, honestly, at this point in the game. And Zaya, Rakan, Zillion have reached a point in the game where they are super, super happy. They are scaling super, super well. Licorice wanting to die again. Needed to give up. The enemy team was not hitting mid-turret and MF was clearing for free. It was fairly obvious that this was coming. And Licorice on the Shen pick is just running it down. But it's tricky, right? Because C9, you don't want to play Shen when you don't have any options in the game. Like, Shen is just such a tragic pick here. It's very tragic. And Zen, even though he's 402, he doesn't have the best pick in the world to find any exciting 1v9s, because if he stands still, you know, he gets freaking double bombed and he'll just get one-shotted. It's a tricky game to carry as a misfortune. Too much CC on TSM's side, especially when you're going to speed up the set. Imagine Zillion with set speed. That's something crazy. It's crazy. We've never seen it before, because honestly, Zillion and Set, I think this is the first time in League they've been in the same game. But Set Zillion is nuts. Twitter Soaz. Yeah. Nice. It's so true. I think Shen is only good if he has a really good matchup. Like if you win your matchup with Shen, you can actually snowball. But if you lose your matchup with Shen, useless champion. It's the same as if you would run TP on Janna, right? The reason he's not running TP on Janna is because you can't effectively TP anyway. You can't effectively TP because you're always going to be on the back foot, you're going to get pushed in. So you can just roam instead and lose those creeps that you're going to get pushed in instead. So MF is strong enough to maybe contest mid prio, 4-1 situation. But then afterwards, when they get prio through that 4-1, what can C9 actually do in team fights? The items for Koba are still quite strong. This is a BF sword advantage. Vulcan going into way too deep. Big shield though, big shield. Oh, the Jarvan ult. Oh, wow, 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 wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's why they locked in Jarvan, baby. Look at that. Jarvan. Jarvan. Boom. 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 Oh. Oh. Holy. What a fiesta, man. What a fiesta. TSM, Draft Kingdom. Also Teamfight Kingdom. The wombo combo was nasty, man. No natural life. They get the Mountain Drake. That was neat, man. That was neat. Very cool. Of course, we get a replay. C9 look to contest. Shen doesn't have ult, doesn't have TP, he's not a part of this. C9, honestly, looking quite unorganized. Because Shen is not a part of this. He actually has ult. It was a lie. So, disregard my points. Like, I was just confused because here it looks he has cooldown. What's happening here? So I don't want to be told that I am spreading fake news, because Riot is spreading fake news. Riot is spreading fake news. C9 were on the same page here. So Dark forces the freaking Misfortune heal. Vulcan walks up. But what is the dream fight here? What's the dream fight for C9? They one-shot someone? They can't. Zillion ult. There is no way for them to fight. Zillion ult is just too powerful, and TSM actually have some good CC and a good composition to fight. The only hope is that they one-shot someone, and Zillion just denies this completely. And then the wombo combo happened. Jarvan is very strong into Zoe, Misfortune, we know this already, as we mentioned in Champion Select, and that's why we were fine with them not picking Karthus. C9 are heavy outskilled. Bjergsen playing a very dangerous game, because I think he needs to ult as he falls asleep. Because here, if C9 play correct, he dies. Like on that first initial thing. Because I think they missed the damage because Leona's the one breaking the sleep. They need to time like Leona's spell together with the Zoe Q, and then the true damage from the bubble is going to be more amplified in this scenario. And then I think they can actually one-shot Bjergsen. But it's very difficult, right? You need to time exactly, because if he gets one frame to ult in, then he survives anyway. But usually if you fall asleep like that, you want to ult preemptively as Bjergsen. But he didn't go for it. So C9 pretty much, at this point in the game already, they need to kill Zilean somehow. Without him ulting. I think Taliyah is good into Ahri. But Ahri can set up gank on Taliyah way easy. Taliyah can get very easy ganked in this matchup. Especially if it's Glacial Walk with Ahri. Oh my god, no good one. How long does Zilean ult last on 13? I think Zilean ult lasts 5 seconds. I'm not certain. You can just go wiki it. 5 seconds or 6 seconds. I think 5. But he had Mercury here. Bjergsen, when you reach this point in the game as Zilean and you have this much AP, you can one-shot waves. So he gets pretty oppressive because he can play weak side so well. Zilean, you can just double bomb the wave from afar, not take any risks, and you can walk away. Niski taking a huge chunk of damage, man. He just gets, when Zoe R's in. I think the key to playing this matchup as Zoe is you should never R in, because you just get double bombed if you do. Bjergsen has been growing his beard to foreshadow the Zilean. He's been playing Zilean since forever, man. No foreshadowing here at all. This mid turret gives C9 a lot of breathing room. When it's going to come down, it's going to be very easy with TSM to actually... Oh, RKO, Zen Flash. They should be happy with Zen Flash. Just walk away after Zen Flash. Vulcan dies anyway, man. He just one-shotted. Giga one-shotted. Oh, whoa! Jesus. TSM. Biofrost popping off, honestly. TSM, Zyrakan. They've won 5 games on it, out of 5. It's time to drop some bans on it. It just feels like C9 didn't do the research. C9 didn't research TSM that well. I think they got sloppy here with the Shen pick. And TSM, some crazy good team fighting. Good patience there from Biofrost, and then he just snapped and C9 got killed. Usually, I would say after the MF burning of Flash, they would walk away. They're going for the mid turret here, good moves. The Q lands on Kobe, he tries to walk away. He gets solar flared, but it's fine. Sven flashes here. Usually I would say, okay, you just walk away here. Biber flashes out. And then look at the move here from Biofrost. So much patience. C9 is grouped together. Boom, boom, boom. And then Broken Blade. It's all Broken Blade, actually. Biofrost. Why am I giving any player credit? It's all about that European Broken Blade representing Turkey. No, but Broken Blade has played quite good. Good set player. Good set player. I respect it. Very nice. Good team fight there. TSM with an Asher here. And that's it. We'll see now start dropping more games now. Maybe they'll be more careful and respect teams a bit more. I think maybe they'll lose another game or 2. That's it. C9 should still look to be the strongest. But this is a very good showing from TSM. Good patience in the early game, and then afterwards just team fighting was good. The swap into Rift Herald was good. The swap in the top side was fine. But C9 also, they got away with murder here because C9's draft is just so trash. Like, what is this Shen? Shen ruins whole draft. And I think in Europe, what's happening is the teams are giving up Aphelios, and the adaptation has been to ban GP on blue side. But Licorice has played no Gangplank yet, as far as I remember. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. I might be wrong. TSM big wave on bottom. Should be able to just walk it in, but I don't think TSM were on the same page always in this game. I think they had some good individual moments in the team fights. I think Broken Blade and Bifrost played quite well. Kobe played a very solid game where he could play the cleanup crew, and Bjorksen survived the early game. I just think the Shen pick was awful, and then C9, when they heavily relied on the 2v2 mid lane, it was never really there. Zillion and Zoe Leeson should take over the game and snowball it somehow. But there was no snowball. Zyra got to play their own game. They got a better swap. They got the Rift Herald. And that's such a big breather. They got the swap onto Licorice. He died on Shen. And it's quite troll. Like, Licorice died many, many times. And any mistake that was made by TSM was quickly covered up by Licorice dying again. And C9 had to pull off some real cocktail shit to even stay relevant in the early game with the Zoe TP and so forth. But good showing. TSM, honestly, Broken Blade and Bifrost played a very, very good game. Sven no flash. Sven no flash. It is so free to engage on Sven when he has no flash. W, boom. Broke the neck of misfortune. First week where C9 won't get those MasterCard statues. Niski, goodbye, my lover. Goodbye, my friend. You have been the one. You've been the one for me. Doo-doo. This game also derails that insane hype train that the NA cast has been trying to build. But honestly, it was quite hype, right? C9 was still 12-0 and it's something to be impressed by. I don't think we should forget that. 12-0 is difficult to achieve, and G2 haven't done it. They've lost 3 games, right? And C9 still did something well. This game, I think, they disrespected their enemy super hard. Dardoch, very clean on the engages. I think a big issue for Dardoch has been how he plays the game in mid to late game on some specific champions, but Jarvan looks pretty clean. His Gragas looked rough, Leeson mid to late game looked rough, and on Jarvan, honestly, he was fearless in the way he engaged and found a lot of good moments as well. TSM individually played super well, came together in the team fights, and were definitely the better team today. Cloud9, the draft was really, really trash. How can you pick Shen like this? How can you not pick... I just think you need to let go of Aphelios. Let go of Aphelios, you know? Just let go of Aphelios. Let enemy first pick Aphelios, and then just lock in Gragas, GP. And you have the Barrel Bros, and Aphelios will have a hard time playing that game. You set up for a strong bottom with a counter pick on support, and you're happy. You can lock in MF for a third, and if your support has a good champion pool, it can be very nice. Or in this case, Set was first picked, right? Set was first picked, so you can look for the YamatoCannon on your side. Tamken chose banned. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this review. C9 are now dethroned for one day. C9 will return tomorrow as still by far the first place team in the NALCS.